and Chill. Matt G, the Ghost Lady, and Len Moleko.
Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of Podcast and Chill, the Black Friday edition. And in my presence, we're going to get straight into it because what Unati does is very exciting. And I almost want to call it the Uber of everything, which is what UrbanSense is about, yeah?
Correct.
So, I know people are watching and they're like, okay, cool. What is he on about? Tell us urbanites who want to have sense. What is UrbanSense about?
Well, thank you, Len. I like the fact that you referring to urbanites and those urbanites having sense. That's exactly how the name was birthed. We looked at the fact that there's a rate of urbanization is increasing, and in an urban area, people need convenience, and you combine that with smartphone and the people that actually use smartphones, and that's how UrbanSense came to life. So, what is UrbanSense? UrbanSense is technically, in a nutshell, an on-demand services platform. We connect. It's a marketplace where we connect customers with service providers. So, service providers could be plumbers, electricians, event company management, where you've got someone that actually does mobile toilet hiring or catering services, or someone that does marquee hiring services. That's what we do. Those are the services that we find under UrbanSense platform, and those service providers are connected with the clients that are actually looking for those services in the platform. So everything actually happens on the platform. The quotation, the payments happens on the platform itself.
The interesting thing about it is there are so many things that we take for granted. You mentioned plumbing, electrician, and I think earlier in the week I had people come through to my place to do some of the services that you said, and I literally had to look through my phone and I had to Google and find a person to come and do that. But what you're saying to me is you're pretty much a one-stop shop for services that people sometimes tend to overlook.
Correct. So UrbanSense, the aim and the vision of UrbanSense is to be a go-to shop for all your personal services or your professional services. Our aim is actually to make sure that the minute you think about having your kid's birthday party, when you want to know where to hire a jumping castle, we want you to think about UrbanSense. We want you to think about UrbanSense when you have an electricity problem at home at 12 o'clock at night. We want you to think about UrbanSense. When you've got a plumbing issue, a blocked drain, we want you to think about UrbanSense. The benefits of signing up on UrbanSense is in two ways. Like you mentioned, people Google service providers. But the question you're worried about, am I safe if I invite a stranger into my house? Now on UrbanSense, those service providers are actually vetted. We vet the service providers for ID checks. We vet them for criminal checks. We vet them to make sure that they can actually do what they promise you to do. In addition to that, as a customer, what you benefit from signing up with UrbanSense is in the fact that we guarantee the service that the service provider is going to do for you. We guarantee that in this form of we don't pay them until you've actually notified us that they've actually completed the job that you've requested them to do for you. So that's the benefit from the customer's perspective. The benefits from service provider's point of view is why would you sign up on UrbanSense as a service provider? Number one, majority of the service providers are failing because they mostly run as a one-man companies. Failing comes in the form of them not getting not clients to actually serve those clients. On UrbanSense, what we promise is to actually have a pool of clients that will be looking for those services, and those clients will be on demand because they will request you when they need you, and the communication with those with those clients between the service provider will be instant because it happens on the platform itself.
The interesting thing is, I know the Ghost Lady on Podcast and Chill, the son is having a birthday party very soon, so we must actually give her your number.
Yes,
you can provide a jumping castle.
Correct.
As well, because kiddies love jumping castles.
Exactly.
So I'm a electrician, I'm a plumber. I want to be on your database, as it were, how do I then get? So now I'm looking at it from the service provider's point of view, right?
Correct.
So how do I get onto your database so that people are able to access my business? And is there any money that I need to pay in order to be on your database?
Okay. So as a service provider, the platform is a very simple platform. Number one, we don't have any monthly fees, no subscription fees. And in addition to that, what happens is you only pay a commission fee on the job that you've actually confirmed with the client. So in a sense, we work with service providers on a partnership basis. Compared to other, business listing websites that are out there where you pay a monthly subscription but you're not guaranteed any service coming from you, or other platforms that are selling you leads but it's not confirmed that that lead will be converted into business. So we're saying to our service providers, come to our platform. The benefit of you being on our platform is that you don't pay for being on the platform. You pay once you start making money. So when you make money, we're also happy that we actually have helped you to make money. Then we charge you the 10% commission. That's only 10%. So that's the costing and the fees from the service providers. And how do I sign up as a service provider? It's as simple as downloading the mobile application on your app store. You go to Google Play or you go to your Apple store, and then you go download the application. The application name is UrbanSense Pro.
Okay.
On Android and on Google, on Android. On
Google
Apple.
And on Apple, yes.
Yes, the name is UrbanSense Pro if you're registering as a service provider. And then for users, it's just UrbanSense. So we've got two different applications because the interaction is different from a service provider point of view and from a user point of view.
It's sort of like what I'm gauging with this is it's sort of like, and I'm going to have to mention their name because they sort of like came in the game and made everything, a lot of things easy. It's sort of like Uber. There's a Uber app for the general public and there's an Uber app for the drivers.
Correct.
So if you want to be a service provider, there is a certain app that you need to download, which is UrbanSense Pro. And if you are the public who wants to utilize the services that are available on UrbanSense, you just go and search for UrbanSense.
Correct.
Now, I'm the public. I download UrbanSense, and then I say, cool, I want somebody to come and sort out my electricity or my plumbing and whatever. But you're gonna take me through the services or the list of services that you have. How do I know that whoever it is that I leave in my house, because we live in an urban area.
Correct.
We're busy, we go to work, and sometimes we just have to have things being done during the day. How do I know that there is a level of trust and security that I'm going to get with the service providers that you have on your database?
That's a good question, Len, actually. So my answer previously was not complete. So as a service provider, when you sign up after downloading the application, you need to sign up, register using your email address. And that email address, you need to confirm it by going back to your email address, receiving a confirmation email to verify that it's yourself as a service provider registering. That's the first step of verifying or vetting you as a service provider. Second stage of vetting you as a service provider comes in four formats. So we verify your ID, that you are Len Moleko, that has actually registered. So you need to submit your ID or your passport into the platform when you're registering. That's number one. Number two, we're going to do criminal checks on Len because now you've provided your ID, you've got your details. So then we do criminal checks to make sure that we're not sending a representative to our clients who's possibly going to conduct criminal activities or pose risk to our clients. So that's why we do the criminal check. The third step of checking is from a service provider point of view, we check that if you're saying you're a plumber, number one, are you registered with the Plumbers Association or not? The reason we're looking at that is we need to make sure that the person we're sending to you is someone that's knowledgeable about what they're talking about, someone knowledgeable about what they're doing and what advice they can give you to make sure that they provide a high quality service to you, right? Lastly, the last thing we check from a service provider point of view, we check your banking account details. So you need to submit either a copy of the bank statement or a copy of the bank confirmation letter. The reason for that, you need to remember that the payment doesn't go from a client to a service provider.
Yeah.
It sits in the platform before the job is completed. So then the bank account is to make sure that when the job is completed, we can pay you into the account that you choose as to make a payment into. The part where we also check your services that you provide, if you actually have an expect in that.
Yeah.
We check that you are part of a registered professional body.
Yes.
or not. If not, then if there's no professional body for people like your creatives that do logos, we require those people to submit a portfolio of evidence, something that you've done yourself that proves that I've designed a logo, I've designed a website, this is my worker. So that's what we do. So that's a security thing, that's a benefit that you get as a client. So now when someone comes to your house, number one, they would not come to your house if we haven't sent them. And if they come to your house, you guarantee that they're going to do what you require them to do, because call it the job for them to be paid for that job that they've done is actually in your hands as a customer, because if you don't click complete on the platform itself that the job is completed, then we don't pay the service provider.
Oh,
all right.
makes sense.
So even if you leave that person in your house to do the job while you are not there, when you come back from work and then you check what they've done, if you're not happy, you chat with them on the platform and say, you haven't completed this, are you coming back tomorrow? Then you chat with them, and then until they've actually done what you require them to do, then you go as a client and click complete on the mobile application. Once then the process is completed or the project is completed, then we're in a process now in a position to actually start paying the service provider.
So you actually answered a question that I wanted to ask you, in a sense that we've used that word so many times, sense. If I'm unsatisfied with the work that has been done, what do I then do in order to sort of like, not complain per se, but voice out my dissatisfaction with the service that I received? But you've kind of touched on that, because you say on the platform you can go and be able to communicate with the service provider and then voice your dissatisfaction. One thing that people are very wary of, and I mean, it's 2019, 2020 is just around the corner, and we live in the fourth industrial revolution where everything is done digitally.
Correct.
The issue of using your card to pay, am I safe in using my bank card or my bank details to register on the platform in order to pay the service providers?
That's a good question also, Len, because that poses, as we know, there's been a security or data threat with one of the big companies in South Africa. When it comes to that, what we've done is we don't keep the customer's credit card or bank card details onto our application. The payment happens via a payment gateway.
Okay, yeah.
So then when you go into the payment option, then it takes you to a payment gateway. You make the payment with the recognized, I'll call them that, payment gateway in South Africa. Then it allows you to actually capture your information at that moment. But also with them, you've got a choice to ask them to store the information or not to store the information. So if you don't store the information, it gets captured at that moment and then it's gone. It's not kept anywhere. So that's how you get secured when it comes to the payment and your credit card information for online transacting.
All right, cool. 2 questions quickly before we get out of here. First one, if a service provider comes to me, obviously the job has to be completed first before I pay, or do I pay before the job is completed? The reason why I asked that is, if a service provider comes to me and says, how do you then bridge that?
So number one, we don't send the service provider to a client without the client paying first.
Okay.
That's number one. And number two, there's an opportunity for service providers and clients to actually work off the platform. But now the benefit or the where the customer loses the benefit is making sure that we give that guarantee for the work that has been done.
Yeah.
So if you engage the service provider outside the platform, then I can't protect you from a poor quality service, or if the service provider has actually run away
So
with
the
your
guarantee
money.
sort of like becomes void.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So because
null and void.
Null and
Actually,
void.
yes.
Exactly. Because now you didn't conduct your business or the business in the platform.
Yeah.
You just came to our platform to actually collect the contact details of the service provider.
So there's no exchange of cash.
There's no exchange of cash
Everything
at any
is done
point.
digitally.
Everything is done digital. We're digitalizing call them local service providers. That's what we are doing.
The fourth industrial revolution is here, and UrbanSense is making it happen. How does everybody who wants to be a service provider, just take us through the details again? How do they get into your database?
As a service provider, you download the mobile application from your app store.
Yeah.
It's on Google, Android, or Apple Store. You search for UrbanSense Pro.
Yeah.
As a user, go to the same app stores. You search for UrbanSense. Or else you can go into our website. The website is www.urbansenseglobal.com. I will repeat it right. www.urbansenseglobal.com.
All right, cool. Before we get out of here, the services that whatever I'm looking for, electrician, plumber, graphic designer, whatever, jumping castle, what else is there that we probably did not mention?
Okay, so I'll give you our services are listed by service categories.
Yeah.
So we've got home services, we've got your beautician and beautician services, we've got your spa and therapy services, we've got your home services and handyman services, we've got your events and management services, we've got your automobile services, which majority of them are all mobile services.
Yeah.
For example, mobile tire replacement or windscreen replacement. So with this application also we are trying to help people create industries that are not traditionally there. Where now traditional you go to a tire replacement place to replace the tire, but now we're saying people can create industries to start a small business with tire replacement, where you visit people to replace tires or windscreen at their workplace instead of having them to wait for a weekend for them to go to a place for them to actually provide the service. So that's what we are doing. And then also we have there, you find your other business services. You've got your children's services, you've got education services, such things as tutoring services, teaching people how to learn a computer or coding or whatever. You can list them there. And then we've got media services and advertising services, where now people that are creative.
Can we get in there?
You can.
Standard.
Definitely. I would like to have you there.
Podcast and chill is all up in the UrbanSense, man. So don't forget, if you are a service provider and you want to get yourself into the database of UrbanSense, all you gotta do is go to your app store, either be it Android Play Store or the Apple App Store, and look for UrbanSense Pro. And if you're a customer and you're looking for all the services that were listed, just go onto your app store, be it Google, Android, or it's your Apple App Store, and just look for UrbanSense. And yeah, you heard the services, they are there. So you're pretty much gonna take everybody who's been on Black Friday and just add them onto UrbanSense.
That's exactly why we're here,
including us. Wow. Unati, thank you very much, man. Thank you for bringing sense into this urbanized world. Anyway, Black Friday, podcast and chill. My name is Len Moleko. Unati, UrbanSense. Make sure you go to your different app stores and you download it, and you will be one-stop shop for whatever services you need. Anyway, till we meet again, much
Podcast and chill. Matt G, the Ghost Lady, and Len Moleko.